All right, Doug, we've got already a big V8 under the hood. Tell me about it.
So it's an all-new 5.0 liter V8 engine, normally aspirated, produces 467 horsepower, 389 pound-feet of torque. It propels the car from 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds, really impressive. The engine is all new. It actually starts with our aluminum block that we use with our ISF, but actually we made major enhancements. And I say we, our chief engineers and design team made enhancements with the vehicle, and it actually has titanium connecting rods, increased breathing capabilities with this. So the RPMs on this is red lines at 7,300 RPM.
Now, it's very similar to the old F, though, right? I mean, there is a direct correlation
Yes.
between that 8-cylinder and this one.
Right, yeah, yep. And again, it's part of the F brand. So the chief engineer, Yaguchi-san, he was involved with the ISF as well, and he is the father of the F brand. So you're going to see that progression moving forward. Hopefully we'll see some other vehicles make their way into the F lineup.
And tell me about those reinforcements. What about these guys?
Yeah, so again, this car, expected to see a lot of track time, so we want the vehicle to be as rigid and, as capable as possible to take some turns. So we actually have the stabilizer bars going from the strut towers to the firewall to enhance the rigidity of the vehicle. In the back of the vehicle, we actually almost have like an X-brace, a partition brace in the rear behind the rear seats, adding to that rigidity of the vehicle.
Now, this engine generates a lot of heat. How do you cool it down?
Several ways, actually. First and foremost, you're going to see when I close the hood, we have the vent here, so that's going to allow air to get out, heat to get out of there. Also, too, these fenders, these are functional. As opposed to the ISF, where it was purely cosmetic, this actually allows air to flow out. Also, too, up front, that spindle grille just doesn't look pretty, but it is functional. So this intakes here are actually going to help cool the brakes. And then here we have for the engine,
There's two of them, right?
Yeah,
you got to figure out which one's on what side.
Yeah.
Putting you on the spot here.
Yeah. The engine oil cooler and transmission cooler over there on the outside.
And talk about the wheels. What size are they?
19-inch wheels, and we're using the Michelin Super Sport Pilot Super Sport. Sorry.
Are there different wheels available?
Yeah, 3 different wheels. This is the high-end wheel, so we have different grades. The 10-spoke is a standard wheel. We also have a mid-grade, and this is the really kind of almost a machine finish with a graphite finish on there.
You can almost see an L in there somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah.
All about our L finesse design philosophy with the styling on the vehicle.
All right, let's open the inside. Let's take a look what you did on the inside. Now, before we actually get to the inside, tell me about kind of this car, right? It's kind of a hybrid between the GS and the IS.
Correct. Yeah. So this vehicle, actually, the front of the vehicle, as well as the suspension, is GS based. The center part of the vehicle, we're actually utilizing the IS convertible. Again, the increased rigidity makes sense for a car that's just going to see some track time. And the rear of the vehicle is utilizing our IS architecture in the back. So it's a little bit wider than a typical IS. Wheelbase and length on it is also increased over an IS. So it's a blend truly between the GS and the IS.
There's some funky stitching on those seats. What's that all about?
It's not just to look great, but
Yeah.
it also has some functional that help support you while driving the vehicle. First and foremost, you're going to notice the side bolsters very exaggerated, keep you nice and firm in there. But the stitching actually mimics the musculature of the body, and it's going to help support you in those turns as you take the vehicle. Even the center console, there's some padding on the side, so as you're taking some pretty rapid turns, you're going to feel it's going to help support your knee as you brush up against that. Again, trying to keep that luxury element into a sporty, fun to drive car.
I noticed this is a very orange car, but you can't get this with the carbon fiber hood, right?
That too, yeah. So carbon fiber is available as a performance package, so you get the carbon fiber roof and also the rear activated wing, which is standard on the vehicle, but with that performance package, it's the roof and the wing that would be carbon fiber. And in addition, you'd have the torque vectoring differential as that package too.
So in terms of pricing, kind of where do these start and where do they end up?
Base price on the RCF is $62,400. With pretty much loaded up, it looks like it's about $77,000, $78,000. Adding in again that performance package, leather interiors available. New Lexus standard in black, but we have 3 different leathers options in there. Also, you have dynamic radar cruise control, park assist, several other features as well.
Blind spot monitoring I see on this car?
Yes, that as well.
So the full kind of suite of Lexus safety equipment is available?
Yes, that's true.
All right, and there are different drive modes, right? So there is an economy mode. Tell me about those.
Yeah, so again, what we're trying to do is allow the vehicle to adapt to what the driver wants out of the vehicle. You mentioned economy, something I kind of chuckle at because, almost 500 horsepower V8 engine. Not sure that many are going to flip it into economy unless by mistake, but what that's going to do is going to mute the throttle response and also reduce the air conditioning output, all about fuel efficiency. Normal mode, the car starts up in, and that's going to be just the perfect balance between efficiency and performance. But then you flip it into sport, and that's going to actually change the throttle response, make it more responsive. And then when you put it into Sport Plus, that's really where you can have some fun with the vehicle. That has an effect on the steering as well as the throttle response. Also, vehicle dynamics integrated management, which is our traction control and ABS and all those safety systems. It actually kind of lowers the guardrails, if you will, and lets you have a little more fun, as you would expect when you get this vehicle out on the track.
Can you completely turn it off and you take away those guardrails?
You can minimize them, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
right.
yep. Not recommended unless it's funny, everybody thinks they're a great driver, but that's the reason those are in effect, is to, kind of be that guardian angel when needed.
Unless your insurance is paid up.
There you go,
right?
yeah.
Talk about the transmission, 8-speed.
Yes, 8-speed sport direct shift transmission. So it has paddle shifters on the vehicle, and the torque converter will lock up between 2nd and 8th gear and decrease downshifts to 0.2 seconds. So again, you have a lot of fun with this car.
All right, here's a softball question. What's your favorite part of the car?
The looks of the car.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's just, it's very Lexus-like. It's luxurious, but it's got a very aggressive look. It makes people kind of stand out. When you have it in this molten pearl color too, it says, "Look at me." And I think our spindle grille, when this vehicle comes up behind somebody, it's like, "Get out of my way."
And you, of course, let's go to the back. You, of course, have those signature stacked exhaust pipes.
Yes, yeah, yep. But again, kind of taking from the previous F vehicle, the ISF, so it's a signature look with the vehicle as well. And then speaking of signature, again, continuing, those L-inspired tail lights, adding to the look of the vehicle. Just
yeah, it's a pretty mean-looking machine. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate the time.
Cool. Well, my pleasure.
Thanks.
Yep.